Right, a new study has revealed that children consume more calories after seeing just 5 minutes of junk food ads.
Here to help us to break this down and how we can have a healthier relationship with food is Cookery writer and broadcaster Aisling Larkin. Aisling, good morning. Lovely to have you here. I suppose there's so much stats that come at us, and there's the advertising. We know in Ireland that 1 in 5 children are overweight or living with obesity, according to our own stats. So what is it about junk food ads
that connects them? So there's a couple of things. I suppose the ads they're such visual cues. So they say that under 5 minutes immediately impacts the children to want to eat junk food. And I mean, think about it. It's a visual cue. You know, you see it, you want it. For our little people, if we break them down a little bit, we have that age kind of around 7 to 9. They're what we call magical thinkers, okay? And then between 9 and 11, they turn into these scientific thinkers. What happens is, developmentally, their prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed yet. So they process the information that they're getting differently. So as adults, we can kind of go, okay, we've got logic, we've got reasoning, we've got spatial ability, spatial awareness. They don't operate on the same basis. So when they see something and it says snap, crackle and pop, or there's a superhero, or there's sparkles and unicorns, at that magical thinking age, they believe that that's the truth. So they're buying into the excitement, to the fun, to the experience, to the reality of the magic that's been sold to them.
So, I mean, this study is a load of rubbish. I mean, 5 minutes, 30 seconds, 10 seconds
Absolutely.
of seeing that, and that will want kids doing this.
It's not going to take 5 minutes. It's not going to take 5 minutes.
But the government are trying to ban these unhealthy food ads, is that right?
Yeah, so broadcasting at the moment says that we can't have ads on TV before 6 o'clock, can't be during children's programming.
Okay.
In the UK, they're moving towards, I think it's in October, bringing in legislation where they're saying that they're going to increase that till 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about those magical thinkers, the next step up, as I said, the 9 to 11-year-olds, that prefrontal cortex is developing. They're more rational, they're more reasonable. They're not relying on that dopamine hit, the instant gratification, this is going to be delicious and I want it right now. They can reason out a little more, kind of go, maybe this is good for me, maybe it's not. But where the marketing comes in then is this area of influence and, you know, culture and being together and social and peer pressure. And, you know, it's always that tribe, that community, that fitting in. And they start to target them from that area.
Well, that was, you know, Mr. Beast, KSI, Logan Paul, when they came together with those basic, fake cheese and whatever. Like, it was unbelievable. Not one piece of nutritional value in any of those things. So that's the
influence. The Prime was the other one. You know,
the Prime was the drink.
Huge. They formed these massive, massive big trends.
And the cues for all that. Like, it's crazy. It's amazing.
And as parents, because I'm a mom of 3, you know, sometimes you indulge them in those trends to allow them to fit in and be part of that social group, because at that stage, friend formation, it's really, really important that they do fit in. So as parents, you kind of have to call the line sometimes and go, how much are we going to dip into this?
But what can you do, though? Like, honestly, what can you do? So you're sitting there and, like, it's everywhere. Like, as an adult, I find it hard.
Yeah.
And you are absolutely bombarded. So how can you teach children from a young age to have a healthier relationship with food?
It's really, it's complex and it's difficult. And I suppose the first thing is you don't know what you don't know. So until you kind of delve into this a little bit, and, you know, when you know better, you can do better. That whole place of awareness, actually bringing awareness to small things like appetite and hunger levels is one of the first things. And, you know, I'm not approaching this morning from kind of that nutrition perspective. It's from that relationship with food piece. So something as simple as, you know, and this is what I teach all the time, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hungry do I feel right now, or how full do I feel right now? And actually knowing that 5 on a scale of 1 to 10 is neutral. I'm not aware I have a stomach. It's like when you need to pee. You're not aware you have a bladder. But when you need to pee, you become aware you have a bladder. When you really need to pee, you really know you have a bladder. Your stomach is the same. It will send you physical signals when you are physically hungry. Your stomach is about the same size as your closed fist. So if somebody says, I'm hungry, that's about as much food as we physically need to fill our stomach. Our stomach is over here, it's not down here. And then it can distend up to 2 litres, 4 litres. So it's that understanding of going, are you hungry right now? How hungry do I feel? And being able to teach your child, 5, I don't feel anything. 7, little rumbles, little grumbles, little gnaws. 8, you know that sensation. 9, I'm getting a headache, all of those things. So that awareness, hunger and fullness levels. And then if they go, am I hungry? Is it physical hunger? No, it's actually not. What else is it? So we've got other hungers. Eye hunger, nose hunger, mouth hunger, cellular hunger, heart hunger, soul hunger. So these are all these environmental triggers.
But as parents, you know, kids come up and they want a snack.
Yes.
And they're relentless with asking you. And it is difficult to try and keep telling, you're not hungry, you're just bored. But kids nowadays struggle to be bored. They're always on phones, they're always on computers, tablets.
Yeah.
You know, we're seeing less and less kids outside playing
Yeah.
nowadays as well. So
And this is where the playing, like years ago, was so
Yeah.
important, because playing was fulfilling so many of those needs that we have, from the sensory regulation, from this area of what we call proprioceptive input. So it's how you keep your body regulated and satisfied and give it dopamine, give it serotonin, but without relying on food to do that.
how important is it? Because obviously the government are trying to ban these ads. In terms of like a sugar tax, is there anything like that? Because I know from going to the shops to try and buy something, if you want, like, you can give your kids carrots and vegetables and fruit, which is cheap.
Yeah.
But to buy a packet of mini Mars bars is much cheaper than healthier snacks.
Yeah. And it's that.
So for parents who are hit in their pocket,
Yeah.
it's much easier to buy unhealthy food for their kids.
But it's still not a reason to do it. Like, and so often we fall into the place of food is love, you know, and it's where everybody's busy, parents are working hard. What's the quick, easy way to communicate, I love you, I see you? And it can sometimes be chocolate, ice cream, sweets, but there's other ways of doing that, and it's about finding those other solutions.
Like
to
what?
that. I suppose there's so many things. It's time, isn't it? It's time, and having time is really difficult, but making it be quality time. If you're going to have a treat, discernment is one of those keywords, quality over quantity. A lot of the UFPs, a lot of those ultra-processed foods, when they're designed and made, so my background is Masters in Food Product Development, they have something called a bliss point. So this bliss point is where they have a sweet spot for sugar, fat and salt. So as parents at home, we've got to find out ways of, if we're creating, as you said, snacks, how do we do that? So giving a child an apple is one thing. But if you put an apple, even with something as small as a little bit of peanut butter, or, you know, you're making those little pancakes, mashed up banana oats, that's it, and a little bit of peanut butter on top. Peanut butter is a great one because it has salt, it has fat, so it gives, so there's a difference between fullness and satiety. And satiety is this feeling of walking away from an eating moment where you go, God, I'm just lovely now.
Where you're
I'm
sated.
satisfied. You're
Yeah,
satiated.
that's it.
That's what it is. And that can be different. Those high junk foods that you say, they're instantaneous, quick dopamine, but they don't, that satiation doesn't last.
Listen, we're kind of out of time, but there's personal responsibility here, obviously,
Yes.
for everybody. But again, there's multi-millions being pumped in by this food industry
Absolutely.
in order to make your children, and you want these things.
Absolutely.
Is more regulation needed? Because people go on about nanny states, but like, we're fighting with a slingshot against this Death Star.
And 1 in 5
that's what it
kids
is.
are
Totally, of course
obese.
there is.
Yeah.
There is. Yes, we take personal responsibility as parents. Yes, we teach our children skills, but we can't do everything. So
Yeah.
absolutely, broadcasting, marketing, all of it has to be looked at, 100%.
We'd love to hear from you this at home as well. 0896 111 111. Get in touch. 1 in 5 children are obese here in Ireland or have weight issues. And in terms of junk food, it's just so difficult.
It's awful.
Aisling Larkin, broadcaster, cookery, writer, and everything else. Thanks so much for
You're
that.
very welcome.
I loved
Thank
when
you.
she said bliss point. We should have you say that every morning. Back with you shortly on Ireland AM. Bliss point.